What's up, G Show Land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show Podcast. I am G1, and this is the Godzilla Block Party. And today on the Block Party, we're going to be talking about the differences between the Godzilla vs. Kong movie and its novelization, and what actually is better. Also, we'll be doing a quick, tiny, real small, not even a review, but a quick overview of what we think so far of Godzilla Singular Point. Yes, that's right. Some of us have seen Godzilla Singular Point. I mean, you can see it too. It's out there. You just gotta know where to look. But that being said, let me introduce you to my co-host, my cohort today, Gam Z1, aka my brother Andrew. What's up, brother?
Oh, I am quite all right, man. Just I flipped through the book last night, probably got through a good 3/4 of it before I passed out.
That's insane.
But I'm fresh and ready to talk about the differences and which one I prefer. Ooh, could it be the book? Could it be the movie? I don't know.
Could it be? Also, I just want to, again, I'm going to just throw these little tidbit things that you may have noticed. Is it fan service? Is it done intentionally? Or is it just there to be there? There's some things I want to talk about. But anyhow, let's get into it. First, I want to start off with Singular Point, honestly, because it's the smaller thing of this podcast. Now, I've seen 3 episodes so far. I don't know if the 4th one is out in Japan yet. I think it is.
I think episode 5 is almost out. I think that's coming out tomorrow.
Look at that. So I am way behind. I only seen 3 episodes. I watched it on Tuesday. I thoroughly enjoyed them. But Gam, you only seen the first episode.
Yeah, I decided after I watched the first episode that I wasn't too keen on the Google translated subs, for better or worse.
I don't know.
And I'm just gonna wait till Netflix makes properly translated subs. I know they're not all like accurate. They're made to like flow for an English speaking script, which, you know, more power to it. Let me understand what's going on, because a lot of it was just English words being strung together without any meaning or logic.
Wow, sounds like Shin Godzilla. Now, I'll be honest, not to shit on that movie, but literally in the first episode, the very beginning of that episode, where it's just like a bunch of talking, and it's going so fast, the subtitles coming in like hyperspeed. That's what I felt like. I was like, I'm so confused by this. This reminds me of Shin Godzilla. And that's what, I was totally just like, duh, what's going on here? But then I think it settled down, the pacing started, and I didn't have any problems with the subtitles, to be honest with you. I thought they were well done.
Maybe they improved them as time went on. I don't know. I just decided to wait for Netflix. May is not that far away.
Well, let me ask you, since you did see the first episode, no spoilers, obviously. Did you feel any certain, like, were you hyped about it? You were just upset about the subtitles, or what? Like, was it?
Yeah. It's got an interesting setup indeed. I love the fact that the monsters are almost realistically sized, because they're small in the series.
Yeah.
And it's weird, but like cool weird.
Yeah.
And I love that the Jaguar is kind of like this put together thing rather than this perfectly man-shaped robot.
Dude, I will say, when I seen the trailers, I didn't know how to feel about Jet Jaguar, but with absolute certainty, I absolutely say I love this Jet Jaguar. I love it.
He's the goofy boy. I love him.
Oh yeah, I loved it. I loved everything. I really did love everything. I agree with you with the scale of the monsters, even though in the first, oh my god, you have the Jet Jaguar Bandai Singular Point figure. That's so freaking cool. I will say, if there was one thing I really liked about this show, a couple of winks and nods to pretty much all iterations of Godzilla and its franchise, especially in like the beginning and end credits. So I don't know if you've seen those, because I know the first episode didn't have opening credits, and I do not. I think it might have had end credits. I think it did have the end credits.
It did have end credits. The end credits was the opening.
Okay, so episodes 2 and 3 has a really cool intro and a really cool outro. Like, you know, I dug it. And like, especially
as both animes do, you know.
Exactly. And I'll tell you right now, I really love that intro song to this show. I hope Netflix doesn't change that. I'm jamming out to that shit. I was like, oh, this is going on an iPod.
Considering most like series, they don't really translate the OP. It's just there in Japanese. I'm pretty sure they'll do the same thing for Godzilla.
Good, because I really dug that tune. But yeah, there was one homage that, again, maybe it's me, maybe I'm reaching, maybe I'm looking for things that aren't there, and we're gonna get into that with Godzilla vs. Kong in a second. But there is a machine, a drone, in the shop that Jaguar is built in. That is Virgil from the Godzilla 98 series. It's Virgil.
Oh, you mean Nigel?
Nigel. Why did I say Virgil? Nigel. It's Nigel. It is Nigel. And I'm telling you, when you see this, there's no way it's not. It's a modified Nigel. I'm not spoiling nothing because nothing happens.
Look, I mean, so it'd be a very cheeky reference to the American Godzilla cartoon.
Yeah, dude. And I'm telling you, and it plays a part in the third episode. So
he does?
Yeah, it does. It does. It really does. And it's not a major part, but it's... Dude, it's Nigel. I don't care what nobody says. And again, maybe I'm looking for stuff, but it's a yellow drone on wheels with you know, like, it's Nigel, bro. And I thought
Japanese Nigel.
Yeah, and I just thought that was pretty cool that they did that, because if I'm not mistaken, in the end credits, the cast of Godzilla 98 is running away from, I forgot which month. I think it's King Caesar. I think. I'm not sure. But I know, like, I haven't gone through the laundry list of all, like, the cool secrets that they had sprinkled throughout the intro and ending. I will say in the intro, what I like is seeing the girl from Shin Godzilla, the American liaison. And she's...
Kyoko Ann Patterson.
Yes. She's doing the CNN newscast. And in the background, you see, like, I think Biolante. And it's just... It's so freaking cool. But yeah, I like the mystery that's set up.
Now, was a certain red kaiju featured in any of the 3 episodes?
By red, do you mean conceived in 1975?
Water, yes.
At the very end of the 3rd episode, it was the tease. It was the NTs.
Do you know what its name actually is?
No, they didn't mention any names. So I'm gonna go look.
Would this be considered a spoiler because the toy's coming out and I'm actually getting my toy of it?
Wait. They changed 2 names now? Because I saw something earlier today with a certain frog-like Godzilla's revenge monster that, you know, the bully monster.
Yeah.
I saw a name change for that.
What do you think it is? Would you like to know?
Yeah, why not? What the hell?
Its name is Godzilla Aquatilus.
Wow.
It's a form of Godzilla.
Wow. You know, at the end of that episode, they don't show its face, but there's a submarine, and they get a ping, and on sonar, and they're like, "What is it? I don't know, but it's coming, and it's coming fast." And then you just see, you know, the submarine up front, the long shot from behind, and then boom, it just swims into view, but it's going straight at the submarine. And I mean, to me, it looked like Titanosaurus, you know, but I did see, you know, the differences, like, during the trailer and shit. But Godzilla, man, look, the mystery, especially in the 2nd episode, I want to say it was the 2nd episode, or it could have been the 3rd episode, but the first kaiju we encounter, there's a swarm of them in the 2nd and 3rd episode, in the 3rd episode especially. But it wasn't until where you see them come from where I was like, oh boy. And I had made this point when the first trailer dropped. It's all about the title of this show, Godzilla Singular Point. And I absolutely believe that's exactly what's happening here. And I like it. I like it a lot, actually. overall, so far in the 3 episodes, I dig the
it has
intro.
passed the 3-episode rule.
Huh?
It has passed your 3-episode rule.
You know it, brother. You know my 3-episode rule. Yes, it is. It has done the job. I did not know if I was going to like it, especially right at the beginning of that first episode. As soon as it starts, I was confounded with the... It was just so fast and furious. I had no idea what the hell was going on, what they were talking about. It made zero sense, and it was just a bunch of nonsense. And again, it was like when they were trying to explain how to stop Godzilla in Shin Godzilla. They were coming up with that elaborate plan, and they were in the...
All the fast editing.
Oh, God, I still don't understand that shit. I could put it in slow motion, and I'd be like, like, I'm just... Maybe it's just me being retarded. I don't know. But once that was over, I really liked the character designs for the humans. I love the animation. This is actually how I always envisioned, you know, a Godzilla animated be, like traditional animation. I love the character designs. Again, and Jet Jaguar, man, when I tell you, I really love Jet Jaguar in this. I love everything about it. I loved his crew. I love Gramps. I love everything about that. And the 3 episodes, I dug it. I definitely dug it. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if Netflix puts out their shows that you can buy them, but if they did, I'd purchase them. I know they did for Daredevil.
I'd get like a box set with all the episodes.
Oh, hands down. Hands down. If only for Nigel alone. I'll tell you. When you see it, brother, I'm not... You tell me if I'm going crazy or not, but I was like, wait a minute. All I was waiting for was the Pee Wee Herman scream. That was all... Man... Yo, me and my brother used to would crack up hysterically watching that shit, just waiting for Nigel to get destroyed. I loved it, but...
Or see what kind of pop culture reference he'll be saying in what accent now.
Well, and that was the cool thing because... Well, I'm not going to say nothing. Y'all watch it. I don't want to spoil nothing. And not that it's a spoiler or anything like that, but I don't want to... I want y'all to go along for the ride. All you know, there's a drone... That's yellow. That is very, 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 very reminiscent of Nigel, and I think that's purposely done to give props. And again, to the entire line of Godzilla's franchise. I love it. All the movies, anything that happened, and I really love it. I really do. I would love to see them. I would love to see them pay homage to the MonsterVerse. Show me some behemoth.
So hopefully that Netflix viewing will be. You fucking blow me away.
I hope so. It's just a damn shame we gotta wait till June. I get it. Because you know how Netflix does. They're gonna drop the entire series at one shot. So I guess that's why they're waiting, because I think it's coming out, bi-weekly in Japan or some shit? I think it's bi-weekly. But anyway, I digress. Yes, anyway, that's my...
Anyways...
Yeah, let's get into it. Gam, y'all can't see it, people, but Gam Gams is wearing his Team Kong shirt. What a loser that Kong is, huh? What a loser. What a loser. I'm gonna tell you something, though. I love Kong in this film, bro. I love Kong so much in this film that it made me really appreciate Skull Island that much more. It really did. It really did. I will take nothing away from Kong in this movie, except for that second bullshit win, because it really wasn't a win. He got fucking... Godzilla surged, you know what I'm saying? It was a pulse. It's the only reason why that thing didn't get stuck in Godzilla's head. It pulsed. That's all I'm saying. We saw the pulse, people. It was in the movie. Movie. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about the movie. Better yet, let's talk about the novelization and the differences between book and movie, because there is a lot to get into. And I think the first thing...
This has an entirely different opening.
Exactly.
The 3 chapters are not the beginning of the movie.
When you sent that message in the group chat, that you're 3 chapters in and you're not even in the beginning of the movie yet, I was like, holy shit, because it was still downloading on my Kindle. And I'm like, damn, man, fuck. Like, I was like, I should have had this. Like, what? No, actually, I'm lying. I had it pre-ordered. I had forgotten about it until you made mention. And I was like, oh, shit. And then I went on my Kindle and I hit download now. I should have just set it to download as soon as it was out. But again, digress. But yeah, let's because if there was one thing that the movie kind of in my first viewing, kind of
we all pointed it out.
Yeah, rubbed me the wrong way was the whole Godzilla defeated everybody, and I'm sitting there like, wait, what? Did he kill Rodan? Remember when I was like, Godzilla vs. Kong is going to be subtitled "Destroy All Monsters"? Boy, was I wrong. That happened somewhere else. Oh, I was so mad, so upset, so disgusted. Because I was like, are they dead? The movie never goes out of its way to explain that. It just
but now we have the novelization and the prequel comics.
But let me ask you, do you own the prequel comics?
Oh, do I own the prequel?
Perfect. We can talk about that too.
The prequel comic.
I will say this. I'm a little upset because Amazon, who I love so much, I love you, Amazon. Thank you for everything. I order everything on Amazon. Thank you. When my Godzilla Dominion came in, perfect, and it was in a bubble wrapped package, perfect. When my Kingdom Kong came in, it was damaged on the sides.
Oh, what?
Yes, dude, I'm so angry. I'm like, oh, come on, man. You ruined my mint condition collection, man. Teeny bit upset by that. You know how it is. I'm a comic book collector, man. You got to keep these shits mint. And,
of course.
Oh, yeah, I was kind of disappointed, man. It was like, I don't know, somebody's Peloton bike was on top of it.
Did you contact Amazon, try to get it exchanged?
Nah, because it's Kong, and he's a loser anyway.
Oh, whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please, guys, hang out. Trust me, I'm going to give Kong all his props. Don't leave, Kong fans. But yeah, so I was disappointed with that, but I wasn't disappointed with either one of those comic books. Were you?
Oh, no, not at all. I loved Kingdom Kong for the fact that it explains how Skull Island came to be the way it is. It's also explained in the novelization. I learned about it through the text of the novelization first, then I saw it visually in the comic.
Right.
And it all kind of clicked. And then you got Godzilla Dominion, which is completely in Godzilla's perspective. I love that. It's just like Godzilla in hell.
Yes.
In that aspect. And I love that aspect. And you get to see Scylla, you get to see Behemoth. What happened to them? Godzilla didn't kill them. He helped out. He literally kicked Scylla's ass just so that Scylla could not eat a nuke. And he helped out Behemoth against his other Titan.
Yeah, the swamp thing. That's what it was.
I think it's called Abaddon or something.
Abaddon, that's a wrestler in AEW. We talk about. I love Abaddon. She's a zombie.
But yeah, and then you learn that one of his old layers was taken over by one of Kong's species, and then subsequently taken over by the Loch Ness Monster.
That's right. That is right. I will say, if I had any problem with any of these comic books, it was one minor issue with the Kingdom Kong. The Kamazats. Where did it come from? And how did it get to Skull Island?
It was living in Skull Island, and I guess there was another Kamazats at one point that they killed?
Okay, I could buy that. I could kind of buy that. I mean, Kong and Godzilla are a species. I'm pretty... Kamazats got it. They're all species. But, like, these kaiju are unique. And when we saw Kamazats for the first time, like, a year or two ago, whenever that first photo leaked, it was, like, such a cool fucking looking thing. Like, oh, look at this thing.
I was always led to believe that the Titans that usually have, like, an alpha status are the one-of-a-kind ones. And then you got the more jobbers that have, like, multiple members of the species, like Nozuki, or as you know them, the Warbats.
Yeah, Nozuki doesn't work anymore. That's a Warbat.
Yeah, there was multiple of those. So who's to say there's not multiple of Kamazats, maybe even multiples of Behemoth down in the Hollow Earth?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? That can't even argue that logic. It's the logical conclusion that if you have to make up your own, conclusion. That's the logical thing. I buy that. Because I really was confused. I'm like, wait, what happened? Did they kill it? Did they drive it to Skull Island? What is it? But like you said, seeing what happened to Skull Island and how and why. Oh, come on. And
like it was a storm from King Ghidorah that merged with the storm. Because I always thought, like, from just watching the movie before even like reading the book or anything like that, I thought maybe just the storm just collapsed in on itself and swallowed the island whole or something like that. But no, it's the two storms combining.
Yes, I thought the same thing. I thought the storm collapsed in on itself. I mean, look, these prequel comics were better than the previous prequel comics, with the exception of the sequel comic of Kong's. I actually really like.
Oh yeah, Kong. What the heck was it called?
I have no idea, but I know it was set in 1996, and
I know. I'm getting that because I also pre-ordered the MonsterVerse Titan anthology.
Yes, sir.
Because I never got that actual Kong comic book, and that's part of that Titan anthology.
Yes, it is.
It also has Godzilla, not Awakening.
No, it is Awakening. No, Awakening is the first one. It's oh my God, the one after the one before King of the Monsters with the King Muto or some shit.
Yeah, the Muto Prime.
Yeah,
yeah, that one's gonna be in it. I already have that comic, but so I'm gonna have it technically twice. But to have the other Kong comic is the reason why I pre-ordered that.
Yeah, I pre-ordered that and the Art of, because I've got the Art of Godzilla, I've got the Art of King of the Monsters.
I don't have any of the art books.
Ooh, those things are beautiful.
The art just gets uploaded to the internet anyway.
That's true. No, that's true. I can't even lie. I don't know. I have those two and the Art of Episode 7, Star Wars. So yeah, no, I need this one though. I need the Art of Godzilla vs. Kong. Only if because if they do certain things that are in the novel, see how this all comes back around, right? Certain things that are in the novel.
There's a scene in Godzilla Dominion that's also in the novel. It's this whole 3 chapters that's not part of the movie with Godzilla saving Nakika from those terrorists.
That's
on the oil rig.
Now let's clarify who or what Nakika.
Nakika is it was mentioned in the King of the Monsters novelization as simply Kraken. That was its nickname. It was not Titanus Kraken. It did not have a specific Titanus classification yet. And it was in, I guess, this 2020 script of Godzilla vs. Kong that got made into the novelization, where we would have seen and gotten the official name of this Kraken called Nakika.
Which I thoroughly loved this kaiju. It had the bioluminescence instead of an ink blot. And Godzilla saved it because it was kind of like a Mothra but of the water. Yeah. It was a very docile Titan. It wasn't.
Yeah, it only
aggressive.
Attacked when provoked.
Right.
Like most Titans.
Exactly.
And like, I love how in the prequel, in the comic Godzilla Dominion, it's from Godzilla's perspective, but in the novelization, it's from the human's perspective.
Yes. Which I thoroughly enjoyed. Was Ren Serizawa on that oil rig? Because
no, but Walter Simmons was under a pseudonym.
Okay, that's what it was. Because they were they kind of like the mysterious background character in the novel. Like, at least that's. I didn't read. It took me about a week and a half to read it because I read it in spurts. In intermittent little nuggets. I didn't get to just sit down and take a Saturday and blow through it like I did, let's say, back when those Random House novels came out, and I could sit down in a day and just blow through Godzilla Returns. Yeah. So I would read this before I went to sleep. I'd read a chapter or two. if my Kindle was
It was
charged.
a page turner for me. Once I start reading, I can't put it down.
See, and I wanted it to be like that, but I also wanted to savor the moment because I knew there was going to be so much more to it, you know. And seeing what Godzilla did to the Titans, and knowing that he didn't kill them, he basically put his foot down, and some of them he didn't even need to. Like you said, he came to Behemoth's aid. Behemoth was.
He was literally watching the fight between Behemoth and Abaddon play out,
and
to see who he should actually aid, who would be most beneficial to the balance, and he chose to aid Behemoth.
And the fact is, he also left Behemoth alone. Behemoth went back to sleep, but he was chilling because they was in Brazil, right? They would treat him as a god.
Yeah, once Godzilla got his new lair from Titanus Tiamat, the Loch Ness Monster.
Dude, let's not play games, bro. That was Manda, bro. You know it. I know it.
It's the American version of Manda.
Dude, when I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh my god, they made Final Wars Manda in canon.
Yes. But when he got Manda or Tiamat or the Loch Ness Monster, however you want to spin it. Once he got Tiamat to back down, he did kind of like Ghidorah's awakening call, but in reverse. He put all of them to sleep.
Yeah. Which was freaking cool. Which
leads us to, I guess, like the beginning of the movie and the book. Once it gets to where the movie begins, is pretty much the same. But another main difference is when Godzilla starts getting into Pensacola, Florida, where when Godzilla makes landfall, we follow this random chick who's swimming at night because she wants to, I guess.
Yep. She was a marine biologist, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh?
I think she was a marine biologist, right?
Something or other. She was taking a midnight dip, and the tide started to come in. She's like, oh, what's going on? Oh, I've never seen Godzilla before. He's right there. I've only seen him on the news. You know? And then you cut to Zawa. And this is the interesting shit. This is where the interesting shit begins.
Yep.
Because Zawa actually is a character in the book.
Yep.
He's not... He could not be named anything else in the book, but he could in the movie.
Right. He's not a throwaway name in the like in the movie. Throwaway.
Yeah. Like, he literally stares at Godzilla and he's just like, hello, brother.
Hello, brother. That's fucking funny.
Like, oh my goodness. He thinks that Godzilla is like akin to an older brother because his dad paid more attention to the giant lizard than him. And it's almost implied that he joined Monarch to try to impress his father, but once Serizawa blew himself up with the nuke, he decided to go to Apex, I guess.
Right.
And, like, he's the one who built Mechagodzilla. Like, he's the one who designed it. Everything.
Oh, by the way,
all he's doing is taking the credit.
Right, and in the book, they describe Mechagodzilla a lot differently than what we see on screen.
And people say his name more than once.
Yeah, they sure do. They sure do. There was, and I gotta be honest, I'm kind of happy that gag was taken out of the movie, where, you know, the first time when Josh says Mechagodzilla's name, yeah, and basically dubs him Mechagodzilla, and then they do the same thing, like, with, oh my god, Mark Russell and the director of Monarch, and they do the same thing, Robo Godzilla. I'm kind of glad that was taken out. I don't think we needed the joke repeated. It's not a bad joke. It's again, like I said, this movie played it safe with the jokes. So that's why it made it work more for me. But I'm kind of glad that was taken out.
More Mark screen time.
Oh.
And he got more screen time in this book.
But there was a lot more. Hell, the Argo gets screen time in the book.
Yeah.
So I was kind of mad at that. I was like, man, whatever happened to that? Like, shit.
Yeah. Casa Bravo gets mentioned. Mark is being called back to Casa Bravo. Even though Walter Simmons still says Director Russell's daughter in the book, even though that makes no sense, because throughout the book, that one guy who says that I've given the order, Doctor, the city is being evacuated. I forget that actor's name.
The concierge from John Wick.
Yeah. That guy. He's the director of Monarch in the book.
Gilliman or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, there's so much more Monarch in the book, and I love it.
Yeah, there's way more Monarch in the book. Hell, Brooks is in the book. No, he's in the comic. Never mind, he's in Kingdom Come. Never mind.
Yeah, Brooks is in the comic.
He retires. He's like, I think it's time to wrap this up.
He's mentioned in the book.
Yeah. He has the excerpts in the beginning of the chapters, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Along with Dr. Chen. There's so much more in the book.
Yeah, Dr. Chen has, like, excerpts from her writings, but she herself is still not in the book.
That's
so
true.
When did she get cut? How far back?
You know, it's funny, too, because at certain parts of the book, I remember hearing, oh, this person's going to be in it. This person's going to be in it. And I'm like, well, where the hell were they? Like, when I saw the movie, I didn't even think about it, right? But as I'm reading the book, I'm like, oh, there they are. There they. Let me tell you one thing that I really, really liked in the book that I wish they would have, you know, explored in the movie, and that was Nathan Lynn's freezes. How his indecisions, his indecisiveness, which caused the death of his brother, and how
you get like that whole scene with him and that military colonel
and the admiral of the fleet saying, "Hey, listen, this is how I do shit, but you're in charge." So he basically put it all on him. My fleet is in your hands.
It kind of almost elevated the whole shut it down. If we do that, we're dead.
Now, you see, that was another thing that I thoroughly loved about the book that in the movie I didn't get, but now since I read the book, I'm like, hey! That whole thing, when I saw it for the first time, I'm like, okay, shut everything down, make him look dead. I'm not thinking, right? I'm like, all right, yeah, I guess that makes sense, right? But in the book, Lynn is thinking, he goes, oh,
he harkens back to when Mark had everybody shut down the maser cannons and lower the shields.
To make it look like we're not threats. Yep. I loved that. So now when I see the movie again, I'm like, that's so cool. I know where his thought process is there. He was a part of that crew. He knew what to do there, and I thought that was genius. And it makes sense because Godzilla has been there and they've done it before, and that's how they, that's how they basically made Godzilla stand down.
Back off.
Yeah. We gotta talk about also Kong. Let's talk about Kong because let's talk about how
Gia
met Kong.
About the Kong Godzilla war in the form of like a children's bedtime story,
which is cool. But let's talk about that. The way they described the end of Skull Island in the beginning of this book. Because I love that Gia's running with her family.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like through this monstrous storm that is decimating the island, and through the storm, through all of everything that's happening, all this terrible shit, here comes the skull crawlers. And two of her freaking, family members, two warriors of the crew of the family, the tribe, go, spears out and trying to, just to save them, just to buy them time. Bro, little things like that. Man, could you imagine if Adam Wingard filmed that sequence? Like, the emotion? Because I love Gia as a character. I love her relationship with Kong. This little kid knocked it out the park. It's not overbearing. Everything just flows right?
Well, I bet you they did film it. It just got cut.
Oh man, I'll tell you right now, I would be shocked if they filmed that. But it would be, I don't know,
he did say that there's enough footage for a 5-hour cut.
Yeah, I don't know if I need that, though. I'll tell you that true story. I don't think I need that. Unless you see Godzilla telling Rodan, hey, listen, dude, time to go to bed. And Rodan, in classic Rodan Raw, thank you, Godzilla, singular point, for doing that for me. Says, all right, see ya. I'm going to bed anyway. I'm tired. I didn't want to come up anyway. Fuck, what the hell? Got a hole in my chest. Stupid ass moth. You know, like, screw all that.
Fun of both my moth girl and my mom.
You know, that's true. But, you know, I loved that. I loved the way they swallowed the island. And then even they go into detail with the habitat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought that was really cool too. How, you know, they were able to save.
From Kong's perspective, he's like trying to throw the trees at the sun.
At the sun. It's so good. It's so good. And I love it.
Like I guess whenever Godzilla gets close to the island, Kong senses it.
Oh yeah.
And like, I guess he feels because of the whole Godzilla swallowing a star thing.
I love that too, by the way. I absolutely love that. Love that.
I'll get into that in a second, but like, he's like trying to hit Godzilla or something with the tree, but like finally, after all this time aiming at the sun and tossing, it hits something, but it's a wall, and it angers him, confuses him.
I'll tell you this. Godzilla would go close to Skull Island, and that's one of those things that I love about this movie and the idea they play with. Take Kong off the island and he's dead. Because Godzilla will come for him. And yeah, even though she says Kong bows to no one, which he doesn't, she still understands that he's no match for Godzilla.
No.
You know? So I love that idea and the way they play off of it. So when in the novel, Godzilla goes close to the island, he knows, though, he ain't leaving. I don't have to do anything there. I do not need to lay down the authority there because he's not leaving anyway. And the same thing with Kong. Kong's like, why the fuck would I leave? I'm in paradise. I'm in paradise. There's no reason to leave this island, which is, was it in the novel or was that just some random Facebook theory? In The King of the Monsters, when it was like, Kong hears Ghidorah's roar and just like,
yeah,
yeah,
okay. Was in the novel.
That was in the novel?
That was in the King of the Monsters novel, yes.
You see, he doesn't care. He's like, I ain't going. Well, for what reason?
I mean, he considers himself an alpha.
Exactly.
Just like Godzilla and Ghidorah did.
And he is. He is. He's not just an alpha because he's the only thing on Skull Island that wrecks shop.
No, he's an alpha because it's also, I think, explained in either the novelization or Kingdom Kong that Kong's brain, relative to his size, is the same as our brain relative to our size.
Yes. Yes. Man, it was so cool.
That would mean that he is, canonically, the smartest type.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, because if he was that smart, he wouldn't have gotten his ass whipped 3 times. I'm just saying. You know what? Speaking of just saying, man, there's a lot of stuff, but the book, for the most part, really does follow along perfectly with the movie.
Yeah, but it does deviate quite a few times. Not really towards the end. The end of the book and the movie are pretty much the same. And I will say, what criticism I have with the book is when it gets to the action scenes, it just does kind of like a play-by-play in word form.
Yeah.
And it's kind of lazy.
Yeah, I agree with that. I felt like the battle at the end was just done so... Yeah. I agree with that. It was just there. Hey! Then Godzilla goes...
Hey, this happened, and then this happened, and then Mechagodzilla punched Godzilla, and then Kong showed up. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much how it went. The movie gave us the visuals. It was so much better. I wish we would have gotten it from their perspectives more in that particular instance. You get it.
I was expecting that almost.
You get it from
because they did do that in the King of the Monsters novelization. There was a lot of moments where during the fights you got the monster's point of view.
Right, and you get it kind of from Mechagodzilla's point of view too.
Yes, because like in the novelization, it's apparently Ren is actually not dead because Maddie goes to check on him, and he's gone. He's not in the Ghidorah skull or the chair no more at the end.
No,
and,
no.
Boom.
Look at that again. It's not there, period. Like, it's not.
No, the skull's still there. He is not.
I don't know. I swear to God, I thought when I read it, it was like the chamber was gone. Like, everything was gone.
Maybe I'll have to reread it, but I mean, I still love the fact that it shows, like, from Ren's point of view, his consciousness basically merging.
But no, yeah, that was great. But even still, in the book, Serizawa's death is definitive in the book because once he starts digitizing and Ghidorah's taking over, and he sees his father and he goes, Daddy, and everything goes black. That was like what it said in the book, and I know that because I was like, damn, that's some real shit.
No, I was saying Ren's body.
Right? No, Ren's body is alive. I just don't think
just not Ren himself. It's not Ren anymore. It's Ghidorah taking over a human body.
Oh, here we go with the Shin Godzilla shit. Fuck. And this is how it all begins. Okay, so here's one thing that reading the novelization, and I wish they would have explained it more, and watching the movie, because in the movie, I kind of cocked an eyebrow at it, but I always just was like, I passed it off as just whatever. It's just bullshit talk. The two skull theory.
Yes, it's not even a theory. It's in the book. It's said in the movie.
Yeah, I know, but in the movie, I was just like, yeah, okay, where was the other skull from? Where? Because when Godzilla decimates King Ghidorah and King of the Monsters, those things disintegrate. And then the last one, Godzilla destroys. He fucking... And let me be for real.
But maybe he just blew the skin off and the skull just went into space and then landed back down on Earth.
Bullshit. It was complete disintegration, and I'm going to say this right now. It is the absolute worst of the entire Monsterverse. Fatality. It's the worst one. It's absolutely corny. It's terrible. I'm putting it on paper. I'm telling y'all right now. Fuck that King of the Monsters bullshit fatality. It's the worst one in the Monsterverse. Godzilla 2014, dope kiss of death. Kong Skull Island, the ripping of the freaking guts. That was so dope. And then in this one, Kong Sub-Zero wins. Like, let's go. But Godzilla with King Ghidorah's head in his mouth is kind of a little weirdo. That's that shit those fucking lunatics like to ship all the time that I can't stand on the internet. Hey, what if this was this?
I always interpreted it as Godzilla chomping on his neck like a cigar before blowing it out.
That doesn't look like that shit to me. It's a long neck and a head. I don't like any of that shit. I don't want none of it. I hate it. I hated it when I seen it for the first time. I hate it when I seen it for the 50th time. I can't stand it. It's the worst one in the entire bunch. But I digress. Where did they get that second skull from? That was when Godzilla pulses and Mothra screeches and shoots out of him. That sounds weird too. But when Godzilla pulses and Mothra just like, her energy just blasts King Ghidorah. He disintegrates right there on screen. We see it happen. And the only one left is the middle head. And at the end of that, we see Godzilla completely disintegrate that with its atomic breath. So,
but do we though?
Now we do. We absolutely do. You just saw it. You know it.
I know. I did. And it looked like the skull got blown away.
That's the only thing I don't like with this one. I was like, because I like the idea of it like Kiru, for instance. Even though with Kiru, they built the Mechagodzilla around Godzilla's bones. I like the idea of the interface. Because it harkens back again, like, this is gonna go on. I'm talking about later, but like the little nods and shit. Katsura was controlling Mechagodzilla. She was a cyborg. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
And it's like it harkens back to shit like that.
So fun. It's such a layered Mechagodzilla.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah, it is. And I don't know if you watched the last podcast that me and Chase did the other day. But when I went
about the box office king title thing.
Yeah, and how. So I went on Sunday and watched it in the theater again. And I noticed at the end, when he's trying to figure out the password, whatever, Josh is trying to do the password thing, on the screen, the numbers flash 74, 75, and then on the bottom of that is a 64. And I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. That can't be like, oh, we just threw some random numbers on there. No, that's intentional. That's intentional. It's 74, 75. It's Mechagodzilla's origin. And then it's fucking... And then 64 is Ghidorah. It's like King Ghidorah. Like, what? Dude. Dude. There's no way. No fucking way. And I'm mad. Today was a Reddit Ask Me Anything with Adam Wingard.
Yes, I missed it. I'm so mad.
I don't have a Reddit. I don't know how to fuck with that shit. But if I did and knew how to, I would have been like, here's my list of theories. Please tell me. Because it's damn near impossible.
Apparently Adam himself has not read the book yet.
That's okay. I'm talking about outside of the novel. I'm talking about in the movie, what we saw. What he put there. Again, the 74/75, then 64. Was that you? Or was that an editor who loves Godzilla? That had to be you, right? Like, that tiny little Easter egg for those who want to see that, for those who want to catch that. I just like randomly decided to look up at the screen, at the TV monitor instead of looking down at Josh and Bernie like I've done the previous 12 times. And I was like, oh my God, those numbers. It was insane. It was insane. That's got to be purposefully done.
Yeah.
You know? And then there's one more I'm gonna get to because I want your opinion on this. And when I do another podcast with Chase, I'm gonna ask him too. But this one, this one is a really stretched theory, but a theory nonetheless that I think was done purposefully. But anyhow, back to the book. Yeah. So I was kind of like confounded. I wish they would have explained where they got that second skull from. That was the only thing about the book I was kind of like, besides the fact that the fights itself were just kind of like play-by-play instead of like detail or from their perspective. Kong actually had a little bit of perspective. Kong had a little bit of perspective. And that's why I really thoroughly enjoyed it even more.
What did you think about the Iwi's interpretation about the legend of Godzilla?
The star and the swallowing the star?
The swallowing the star, the name they have for him, Zozla Halawa.
I don't care about the name because Godzilla is Godzilla any which way you cut it.
Yeah.
But for this universe, and just thinking about if we were to find, like, you know, ancient cave paintings and shit depicting certain things, that's how they would interpret it. I swear on everything, I never in a million years would have thought about Godzilla swallowing a star, and that's why he has the atomic breath. It's always nuclear, right? Because that's what we grew up on. That's what we are programmed to know, right?
It's almost implying like Godzilla like got hit by a meteor or something and got his atomic breath through like cosmic radiation.
I mean, technically that's what happened in the original one. Godzilla got hit by a missile and, you know, same theory. And again, it's just the simplicity of ancient people telling stories. Yeah. I loved it. And that's what I really, like, he swallowed a star. Oh, God, it's over.
It almost actually implies that Godzilla is unique among his species.
Yes.
That his other species do not breathe atomic breath. Only he can.
I don't buy that only because of the fin glowing with the power, with the energy of the axe. That's the only reason why I don't buy that.
But maybe that was just one of his spines, and it just grew back, just like it did between Godzilla Aftershock. That was the name of the comic.
Wrong. No way. I don't think Godzilla was in that battle. I don't think Godzilla was in those ancient battles.
But it was almost implied that the Kongs were all up against just him.
No. That was straight up species warfare, bro. That was Bloods and Crips. that was gang warfare. And I love that they.
I did not see that in when I read the novel.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the novel that it was a bunch of Kongs against just him.
Well, then, I mean, that just not even doubles down. It quadruples down on why Godzilla is the greatest monster of all time, the king. And there's no room for any type of interpretation that Kong won. And I can't stand these motherfuckers on the internet talking about all these stupid-ass websites.
I will never say that Kong won.
No,
I realized Kong lost from my first viewing. I was sad, but I accept it.
Not me. That was really the only reason why I wanted to see this movie. I was like, yo, they better make this shit work. Like, they better make this shit right. And then they in Hong Kong, like, oh God, Godzilla's gonna die in Hong Kong. And then Mechagodzilla's just wrecking shop, and I'm like, this is what happens all the time with Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. Godzilla gets his ass whipped every single time. It's just what it is. But if that's the case, just goes to show you that Godzilla is truly, without a shadow of a doubt, the absolute king of the monsters.
Yes, he is.
But I didn't take it like that. You never saw Kong bones in Kong's sanctuary. You saw Godzilla bones. You saw his ancestors' bones. I love that. I love the fact that there was this primordial war that went on, and between Kong and Godzilla, and then to go even deeper into that shit. In the novelization, if I'm not mistaken, they talk about a separation of people. You remember, like, who built the shrine to Godzilla?
I guess used to live in the Hollow Earth.
Yeah, and I guess
and either Godzilla by himself or his species, drove them and the Kongs out. That's why they're on Skull Island in the first place.
I don't know necessarily if that, because so that species they're all cognitive thinkers, right? If that was the case, the Godzilla species destroyed that shrine? So here's my theory. The Kongs defeated, for the most part, the Godzillas. And whichever ones they didn't kill were killed off by Mutos, right? Except for Godzilla, who was hibernating, apparently in the Arctic, frozen in time. We don't never get to see that. And because of Superman, Man of Steel, Warner Brothers was like, let's not do the ice thing, right? Fine. Where was I? Oh, but I think Godzilla still existed. You're right then. Godzilla did drive away. But Godzilla still existed, but in a different form, because that Hollow Earth, the fucking war bat, the face, it looked like a Toho Godzilla. It kind of looks like Godzilla 2000.
That's a stretch. That's a reach.
It's a reach.
That's a reach.
It is a reach. But the face, I'm just talking the face. Just talking face.
That's a reach.
Look at it. Look at it. Look at its face. The features, the eyes.
It looks like a snake. With its teeth, with its fangs just on the bottom rather than top.
What about Minya?
They literally acknowledge that it's supposed to be a nod to one of the big lizards in the 2005 King Kong movie.
That's what I said, the same thing. And if I'm not mistaken, that's also a nod to the 1933 Kong. Because I swear to God, there's a lizard that looks just like that. But
they acknowledge that like there was even like comparison concept art between.
But those
what
spikes,
everybody's now calling Doug, that's his name now. Doug.
But those spikes are very 2014-ish. I'm just saying.
They are, but they're also a lot more randomly on his back rather than in, like, rows.
But that's the beauty of it. It's also an evolution of the species. Just like dinosaurs evolved into birds. That's what I love about the Hollow Earth, and they need to focus their direction that way. Whether they do it Pacific Rim, the Black style, where they do an animated series for Netflix.
I mean, they're still doing the Kong series for Netflix.
But is it the legendary version of Kong?
Yes.
Oh, so then that's what. Is it going to take place after this, or is it going to be?
So. I think it's either it's taking place on Skull Island, so it's taking place before this. It's prequel.
Ooh, I wonder where they're going to go. Are they going to go with Marlowe in his years leading up to 70, whatever the fuck it was? That would be cool. I could totally dig that. The problem is, no, there's no problem at all. I want that. But I also want a continuation. Hashtag,
you want more Hollow Earth.
Hashtag save the Monsterverse. It needs to happen. It needs to happen. Whether you continue with Godzilla or not, let Toho do whatever Toho wants to do. But right now, let's not make no qualms about it. Godzilla vs. Kong is a certified hit during a pandemic era, and it's on HBO Max.
It's a hit during a pandemic era, and it did better than King of the Monsters during a pandemic era than King of the Monsters did when there was not a pandemic.
And again, it's also on HBO Max, so the majority of Americans and anybody else that is lucky enough to have HBO Max can watch it in their house for a one-time fee of $15. What? That's what's nuts about this whole scenario, and I'm like, Warner Brothers and Legendary have to be looking at this like, hey, Toho. And even Toho has to be looking at this like, oh shit.
Oh, ayo.
Right,
you know?
right. Like, hey, let's make a deal, right? Like, come on. I would love to see a Netflix, I don't care if it's Netflix, Amazon, whatever. But I would love to see a continuing saga. And I know a lot of people want to see more movies. I just think, personally, more movies means increased budgets, and what are we going to do? It's got something. With a show, you don't have to go that crazy with a budget. If it's an animated show, you bring that shit significantly down. You focus on Kong. You focus on the Hollow Earth. You focus on everything that you... It's a gold mine. It's a gold mine. And if you want to bring Godzilla in and Toho allows it, then every now and then, Godzilla's up on the surface because something woke up. Fine. Kong is the king down there. Godzilla's the king up here. And I would love it.
And let's just be honest here. Now that we've broken any sort of realistic logic with a giant robot,
right?
Let's get some aliens up in here, bro.
I'd save the aliens for season 3.
Come on, let's get the Exilians. Let's get the Kylax.
Would you go? Okay, so let me ask you a question. Okay, see, because this is the thought process I got. Would you do that? Would you go classic Toho aliens if you can't get Godzilla? Because Toho's not going to let you use any of those. Or do you go to either the Dark Horse or IDW comic books and use the aliens?
The Cryog from the comic book.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, those can be realized with CGI.
Absolutely. And if you're going to do it in animated form, fuck, it's perfect. That's what I give massive props to Matt Frank for designing that, because you could totally turn that into an animated thing. I want to see it, But I don't know if I want to see aliens just yet. I want to explore what's in the Hollow Earth first.
I would love to explore what's in the Hollow Earth, and I guess if we're talking about the future of the Monsterverse, I mean, there's a certain turtle who's in desperate need of a job at Legendary. He's been out of work since 2006, bro.
So unfortunately, he's probably going to stay there. as much as I want to see it, but that's never gonna happen.
You don't know that though, with how silly it got in Godzilla vs. Kong. Come on.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
A
That's
flying turtle. At this point, people can suspend their disbelief about a turtle that flies like a UFO.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. That's the issue. I mean, we got fucking flying snakes. How? How? At least Gamera has a fucking idea. It's propulsion is jets shooting out. That makes sense in a really nonsensical way.
They're cobra flaps like wings.
No. No shit should be flying. They're too. No.
Hey, a bumblebee is too fat to get off the ground, but it still flies.
I'm just saying. I don't think the issue there, for me personally, is how does Gamera fly? He's fucking rockets. He shoots fire out of his mouth when he's in his turtles. I don't know. Whatever. He's atomic. I don't know. He was bioengineered. Bam. By Atlantean technology. Bam.
Atlantean technology.
That's it. That's all I
new opponent. Perfect new crossover to like make one Gamera movie, another Godzilla movie, and then have Godzilla versus Gamera. Let's go.
Godzilla vs. Gamera will never happen until it happens in Japan first. You know that. I know that.
But do you know, though? Like,
no.
Not doing a goddamn thing.
No, because here's the deal. Legendary comes out next year and says, yo, we got the rights to Gamera. Who's going crazy? Who's going crazy? Yeah, us. That's it. 1%. 1%. Going crazy.
But what if now that the audience, the general audience, is invested with Godzilla, we just start out the gate with Godzilla versus Gamera and then get a solo Gamera movie later because Godzilla will kill it.
And see, that's why you Gam Z1. I see where you're going with this. You're really trying to get... Not going to happen. It'll happen in Japan first. But I will say this. Because of the success of Godzilla vs. Kong, and because of the success of, let's say Sony and Marvel merging and letting Spider-Man be in the Marvel universe, because of the success of that, there's no fucking way Toho don't look at that shit. What the fuck is Katakawa, whatever I can't even say that. Katakawa doing with Gamera right now? 2015, they put out this fucking awesome teaser for a what could be movie. And then nothing. If Toho was smart, with Toho, you know what I'd do? Hey.
You would have Toho buy Katakawa.
That's absolutely. And if not that, buy license. See, this is where Katakawa can make money. License Gamera to Toho the way Marvel licensed Spider-Man to Sony. Do that. And then the world opens up. And then, just make it before I die. Make it before I die, please. Please. But that's what you want. It'll happen in Japan first. Godzilla vs. Kong is such a fucking huge stepping stone. In terms of kaiju Eiga. You know what I mean?
The giant monster movies.
Right, and the ball right now is back in Toho's court. We have no word that Toho is gonna give, Legendary carte blanche to do whatever they want anymore.
Yeah, the only thing they're focusing on right now is the anime. They haven't said anything about Godzilla vs. Kong's success.
Right.
Or anything like that.
And maybe that'll come after the anime's release. Now, I don't know if the anime is going to be one season, one and done, or... I mean, the way this...
Most seasonal anime is a one-and-done thing, but because it's Godzilla, I'm not too sure.
And that's what I'm saying, because after watching...
I don't even know what its ratings are right now in Japan anyway.
Right. And that's the thing, too. So after watching these 3 episodes, I'm like, yo, I can sit... And again, it's not even about Godzilla. I can sit there and watch those characters. It's like Toho's version of... Not that it is, but in my head... It's like, that's like the origin of Monarch right here.
Yeah.
And I could sit there and I can watch a couple of seasons of this. But if it's one and done, fuck it. You know, but make sure it's wrapped up. Make sure it's wrapped up nice. Not like
unfortunately, most seasonal animes end on a cliffhanger.
Cowboy Bebop did.
Cowboy Bebop was not a seasonal anime. Seasonal animes did not become really a thing until like the early 2010s.
What's a seasonal anime then? I don't get it.
Seasonal anime is basically, it happens during the winter and the spring. And all these anime studios pump out one season, 12 episodes of an anime to see if it could catch on to be the next Dragon Ball, the next Naruto, the next One Piece. And they never ever really catch on. Sword Art Online did, kinda. But that was like really the only one. And most of these seasonal animes are isekais, where it's like a character either dies or gets transported to a different world. And that's the whole plot line. Godzilla Singular Point is like the most unique seasonal anime that I have heard about in months. In like a year, almost.
Man, you just showed your weeb right there, bro. I ain't even mad at you.
Yeah, I showed my weeb.
I ain't even mad at you. I had no idea what a seasonal anime meant. Anime to me is anime. You either go or you don't. I mean, now I get it. You take something like My Hero Academia, still going strong. Demon Slayer, you know, Attack on Titan. I guess those aren't seasonal animes.
No. Those are serialized animes
based off of manga.
A weekly Shonen Jump.
Gotcha. I get it now. I get it.
A lot of seasonal animes is actually based off of light novels.
Okay.
And I think Godzilla Singular Point is not even that. It's just like a wholly original thing. I mean, granted, it's Godzilla and it's Toho, so not very many things are based on anything except for like Mothra being based on a book.
Huh.
Did I remember?
I have no idea. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Mothra came out as a book first, The Luminous Fairies and Mothra.
Wow. And Toho bought the rights to that?
I think it was published by Toho.
Oh, well, then, all right, there you go.
Like, they're a multimedia conglomerate in Japan. They do more than just movies.
Well, they're doing anime now, and I'm not just talking Singular Point. They've been on it, and I...
Oh, yeah, I'm subscribed to Toho's anime YouTube trailer place channel.
So, there you go. All right, listen, I want to say real quick, seriously, one more of these nods in my head, and I may be stretching here, but... So, everybody listening to this got to be a Godzilla fan. They've seen these Godzilla movies. They've seen the Showas. They've seen the Head Size. They've seen the Millennials. They've seen Shin. They've seen the Legendary Verse. They've seen 1998. Something, I mean, if you've watched all of them, you know the lores and the histories and the theories and the speculations and all this shit. Now, King Kong versus Godzilla was one of those movies where there was a rumor, a tall tale? No, I'm trying, oh God, what would be the right word for this? Like a fairy tale almost. That's not right either. But anyhow, the story goes, there's two versions of King Kong versus Godzilla, right?
Oh, the myth.
The myth! Yes, thank you. The Iwi myth. And in that myth it goes, in the Japanese version, Godzilla wins because you hear Godzilla roar, and in the American version, you hear King Kong wins because King Kong roars. It's a terrible myth, and if anybody watched the original Japanese version, you know, I think
they both roar.
They both roar. So it doesn't even matter. To me,
it's like Godzilla and Kong taking a bow to the audience by roaring.
Right. So to me, it seems like, you know, to me, it still seems like Kong won. He gets up, he swims away. He's the last one you see. You see the same thing in Godzilla versus Kong. He's the last one you see. He didn't win in that movie. We all know that.
He won the movie. He didn't win the fight.
Didn't win the fight. Godzilla is still the alpha titan. That being said, if you happen to either sit and stay in the theater or sit and watch the credits roll in your living room, at the end of Godzilla vs. Kong, the very last thing as the final credit is rolling up.
Yeah, you hear Godzilla's little
the bellow. Finally, the second time in the entire fucking movie. Third, bitch. Second, actually, it is the second. I trust me when I tell you this. I've done counted. I looked for that third one. I looked for the mythical third one. Mystical, whatever. It's only two. The first time, Pensacola, when he's looking at the eye and Godzilla's in the background blowing fire.
And the second time, when when Gia has your hand on the boat,
it's not the
it's
bellow.
a little warbled to simulate that it's more of a rumble than a roar, but it's still that.
No, it's not. But it's not that. The bellow is the bellow. You hear it. That's what it is. Now I will
and
give
you Kong's roar drowns it out, but it's also there.
It's not there. No, it's not. No, it is totally not. When they're roaring each other, when Godzilla's nope. Watch it again. I watched it 15 times. I've seen it 3 times in the theater. I watched it 15 times. And I am gonna watch it again because I'm gonna watch it before it gets off HBO Max. I will watch it several times. But it's not there. It's not. Trust me. It's not there. Because that's the one thing I'm listening for. I know that movie now inside and out. It's not there. It's in the beginning, Pensacola. I will say, if you want, it's not even there, what you're talking about when Gia's putting a hand there. But if you want to say that's what Gia feels and that's what it's supposed to be, fine. But you don't hear it. The only other time you hear it is at the very end credits. Now, why is the question? Why? Why would Adam Wingard choose to put whether it's the bellow or not, but Godzilla's roar at the end of the movie? I think that's a callback to King Kong versus Godzilla. I think that's a callback to the myth of there being 2 different entities in that original movie. And I think Adam Wingard said straight up, if you didn't believe what you saw that I showed you, Kong died 3 times. Here it is again. Final roar belongs to Godzilla because Kong roars at the end of that movie. The last visual piece you see is Kong pounding his chest and roaring, but the last audio thing you hear is the Big G, the greatest kaiju monster giant motherfucker of all time. If it wasn't for him, this podcast wouldn't even be happening. God funkin' Zilla, baby. Holy shit. Now, I might be stretching. I might be reaching. I might be looking for shit that ain't there, right? But the fact of the matter is, it's at the end of the movie. At the end of the Toho movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
You hear the roar. There's no credits. You hear the roar. It says the end, and then it goes black. The American movies, man, there's like 10 minutes of fucking credits and everything you see. You sit there, you wait for what's coming next, Marvel? What are you gonna sting me with? And I sit in Godzilla vs. Kong, and you hear that bellow. Oh God, I love that sound so much. You hear it, and it's just when I saw it the other day, man. When I saw it in the theater on Sunday, I just took it as that's a nod to that myth of it being 2 different versions. I don't know, man. Am I reaching? Am I totally like Stretch Armstrong?
You might be reaching. It might just be, saying, oh, Godzilla might return one day.
Yeah, without saying Godzilla will return in the Avengers, right? I don't know, man. I love it. I love it. It's so
But which
mysterious.
do you prefer? The book or the movie? Story.
It's hard. You know what? The movie only because of the soundtrack. Okay? So, and the visuals. The visuals. I'm not knocking the book. I love the book. I absolutely love the book, and I think it's a perfect companion piece. And it gives you so much more detail, right? It gives you the story of Ren. which you fucking needed in the movie. But this movie is such a hodgepodge of absolute crazy insaneness. It's Final Wars without all the other monsters.
Yeah, it has Final Wars' energy.
Yes, thank you. See, that's why I love you, bro. That's exactly it. It has Final Wars energy. And look, I know a lot of people hate Final Wars, but let me ask this question. If Final Wars was not the 50th anniversary movie, would you really hate it?
No, not at all. I fucking love that movie because it's stupid fun.
Right, and that's the point, and that's the problem. Like, a lot of people hate that, but
I've become a lot less cynical as I've been getting older. I finally got what I wanted out of the 50th anniversary movie in a comic with Godzilla: The Half-Century War. I can cut Final War some slack.
The Half-Century War is one of the greatest Godzilla stories ever, and if I ever want to see it,
I really want to see it in film form one of these days.
Yes, that is my favorite Godzilla comic book. Period. I love the Half-Century War. It gives you everything. But yeah, I'm gonna still lean towards the movie being my favorite, only because again the visuals, the soundtrack. Reading Kong, right? But then seeing Kong, him, and this is what I said in the beginning of the movie. I fucking love Kong in this. It made me appreciate Skull Island so much more. But seeing the emotion come off of this Titan, a character that we've known, if you like this genre, since we were kids. Yeah. I gravitate to, and even Godzilla has moments, and I'm not talking about the smile. I am not talking about the smile. The scene that gets me in this movie, I swear to God, it's my favorite shot of the fucking movie. It's not even the best shot in the movie, but it's my favorite shot in the movie. Shut everything down. When Godzilla beats Kong in the ocean.
Yeah, and you get stared at.
And he does the stare. He comes out of that shot. That Godzilla, they didn't do that in the novel. Like, they didn't give you that fucking feeling. But that shot in the movie, that was Godzilla saying, he came out the water, he was like, know your place. You know what I mean? And he was like, and he knew it.
Yeah,
and that's
like literally, it was kind of taking everything that we said before back. It's like Godzilla was literally looking at Kong saying, I thought I put all of you to sleep. Right.
Now, do I agree
Why aren't you listening to me?
Like, and it's sad, because, even though I goof with Kong died 3 times in that movie, like, it's kind of fucked up. Like, I didn't want Kong to die when Godzilla was dragging him to the bottom of the fucking ocean. Like, I didn't want that to happen. No! Like, that's fucked up.
That's what he was doing.
And that's what he was doing. Like, Godzilla was not playing. He was like, what the fuck is going on here? I am the king. Look, so yeah, the novelization gave me what I wanted, and I really wish the movie would have done.
The novelization gives you what you want out of the human story. The movie gives you what you want out of the monsters. And you'll get a little bit what you want out of the monsters in the novelization as well, but...
Right. There was actually a fair trade. The way you described it earlier, when the monsters fight, it's kind of like, right, it's play-by-play. But when you see it, you're like, oh my God. And then with the certain human story, thinking about the Hollow Earth and the whole, and like at the beginning, like the first chapter or second chapter, David and
David and his brother doing that thing. You see, quote unquote, see it happening in those first couple of chapters. You see David die.
Yeah. Yep. David and Nathan. And so, yeah, but I think it's just the entire effect of a movie is supposed to wrap you up, right? A movie is supposed to envelope you and bring you into it. I think Godzilla vs. Kong has done that for me.
Most definitely.
If
it is the most rewatchable MonsterVerse movie.
Oh,
in my opinion.
hands down. I said this in the last podcast. I love 2014. I love it. And when we reviewed Godzilla vs. Kong, I said Godzilla 2014 is still my favorite. It's still the best. Bam, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now that I've seen this movie, 15 times, I've come to realize, while I still absolutely love Godzilla 2014, it has become what Godzilla 1954 has become to my Godzilla 1984-85. That is my all-time favorite Godzilla movie, 1984-5. Return of Godzilla is my absolute all-time favorite Godzilla movie. I love it for everything. I love it. That's what Godzilla vs. Kong is to the MonsterVerse. So it is my favorite. It is now my favorite. It's absolutely my favorite. But I could not have that if I didn't have 2014. You know what I mean?
No, it's true. Without 2014, none of this would be happening.
And that's why I still love 2014. Like, I can watch that movie with no problem every day.
Because of 2014's success that Skull Island got tied into the MonsterVerse at all. Because at first, it was supposed to just be a new King Kong movie.
Right.
Not tied to anything.
Right.
Like, remember that teaser with Kong in the rain on Skull Island beating his chest, and that's all we got? In, like, 2011 or something?
That shit still kills me. That's one of the greatest FX shots I've ever seen.
I think they called back to that with Skull Island being under constant rain.
Could you imagine Adam Wingard in a director's cut takes that sequence and puts it in there with the fucking storm? Oh, that would be so fucking dope. But yeah, the movie edges out the novel only because of it. For me personally, it surrounded me, and I felt like I felt like the girl in Gamera 3 being sucked into Iris, whatever you want to call it. I was sucked into that movie, and every subsequent viewing, it gets better and better and better. I find things, and I'm like, oh, and again, the little things, the numbers on the fucking monitor. Oh, that's fucking dope. Thinking about Godzilla's bellow at the end. Is that an homage? Like little things like that. Like all of a sudden just pops in my head. I can't wait to watch it again and see what the fuck I think of next. Like, oh, well, it just is so much. And then of course, the visuals. The visuals. They're the greatest of the entire MonsterVerse.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Like, I just got done watching King of the Monsters, and yeah, while I still think everybody's saying, oh, I can't see shit over all this rain and fog and stuff, it's a bit over-exaggerated. I can see the monsters.
I can too.
Just fine. I still felt like the climax was missing a lot, especially during that sequence where you see Maddie friggin' go to the Russell house. And then you just see Mothra and Rodan fight in the background. I want to be over there. I do not want to be here with Maddie right now. I want to watch that first, and then I'll watch this.
It was kind of like Dorothy took a page out of Gareth Edwards' book.
Yes.
Oh, here's the monsters. So fool you. Back to the humans.
Fool you. There is no fooling in this movie.
No, Godzilla vs. Kong did not fool you. They and this was one of my favorite things. And I actually dug this in the book. When Nathan and them come out of the Hollow Earth and they go past Kong and Kong's like, oh shit, yeah. And then they go through the building and they're like, oh shit, Godzilla's just massive and just fucking ray through the building. Godzilla 1985 style when Godzilla blows the fucking hole through the building, looking at the Super X. Oh, I love it so much.
Yes.
Yeah,
so what about that sequence in the book?
It works. It works. It works. It works. I do say it's funny. I seen a lot of people talking about how uh, Nathan, how can he run off of Kong's chest? He's a 300-foot gorilla, and I'm all like, yeah, well, it doesn't matter, man. He set a timer. You know, whether the timer was 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I'm pretty sure he had enough time to get across this fucking thing's chest. He's that tall. Never said how wide he was.
Yeah.
You know, so, it is what it is. I thoroughly enjoyed the novelization. They gave us so much more, which was cool as fuck.
Yeah.
But I'm all in. I'm all encompassed in the visuals. But what about you?
Me personally, I'm a little more split than you because I love the things that the novel has. I do. But that whole just play-by-play thing when it comes to the fights is a very legitimate criticism of the novel. And I think I'm just going to go with the movie as well because the visual aspect is just so much better. And, like, yeah, would I have loved the things that are in the novel to be in the movie? Sure. But I could see where they were coming from as to why they got cut because all anybody ever wanted out of this movie from the get-go, like general audience-wise, was just big lizard punch big monkey. And they gave us big lizard punch big monkey.
And vice versa.
Yes. So, in that aspect, I prefer the movie because the visuals are just fantastic. And I always have the novel if I just want to have more out of the characters. And hopefully they take the novel portion of the human story as the canon one rather than the movie portion.
That, yes, I agree with. So listen out there, Legendary, if you're listening. If you're going to continue the Monsterverse, which again, hashtag continue the Monsterverse, use the novelization as the key. The only thing don't use, and there's the one, not that it was that glaring, but there was the one thing I had a discrepancy in the novel where King of the Monsters took place 5 years ago, right? From this movie.
Well, apparently, it was actually 3 years ago.
Right, but in the novel it was. But that's the thing that kind of like threw me for a fucking loop because then at the end of the movie, end of the novel,
in the movie itself, during that newscast thing that happened shortly before Madison went to school, it said that it was the first time Godzilla's been seen in 3 years.
It said 3 years?
Yeah, it said 3 years.
Well, wow. But that doesn't make sense because King of the Monsters...
Because what's his name says that when Godzilla first appeared 10 years ago, there's a lot of continuity errors.
Right,
because the movie and the book itself, because both are mentioned.
I swear to God, in King of the Monsters, they make reference that Godzilla hasn't been seen in 5 years.
Yes, he has not been seen in 5 years.
And it makes sense.
King of the Monsters takes place in 2019, but Godzilla vs. Kong, it's up in the air whether or not you interpret it as set in the year 2024 or the year, I guess, 2022?
Or this year.
Or this year.
Yeah, it should be 10 years. I'm not going to, that's not something that's going to ruin anything for me. I'm just saying, in the book, I'm like, what the fuck is with this 3 years shit? Wait, it was 5 years there, and then he says Godzilla was first appeared 10 years ago, so where are we?
It's weird. There's a weird continuity thing with the dialogue.
Yeah. But listen, brother, man, thank you, man. Let's wrap this up here. Thank you for joining me today, bro. I really appreciate this conversation. I had a blast.
Of course, and I loved it too. I haven't had a chance to really go back and forth with someone with the novel because in most of my friend groups, I'm really the only one who's read it. So.
Yeah. Well, I've read it, and we've talked, and we've discussed, and it was cool. So that'll do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us tonight For Gam Gam Z1, I am G1. We are out of here. This is Godzilla Block Party. We are out of here. Peace.